What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. Another day, another dollar with your boy. We're breaking down our ES futures contract. And we closed near the all-time high. Very eventful day for the most part for the buyers. Kind of sluggish towards the end of the day. Overall, very positive day for the buyers. In yesterday's video, I left you guys off with some possibilities, especially if we got above the 49.80 level. I said if we got above that level, we would go and test all-time highs and then potentially push up to the 20 and the 50-50 level. Guess what? We hit those levels to the tick. So, I mean, and I also gave you guys downside destinations as well in case that scenario did not work out. We had another scenario, another plan in place in case there was a short side. But however, today we had a very successful inside day out. Not inside day out, inside day up scenario come into play right here. As you can see, we had a double inside day. Essentially, we traded yesterday as an inside day compared to the previous day, and the previous day was an inside day compared to the Friday's range, right? So double inside day, explosion to the upside. And I said this could have been a potential accumulation of buyers stepping into this market to help push up and distribute into the all-time highs. And that's exactly what happened today. As we go out with a bit of a P shape for the most part, we attempted to go triple distribution. We hold a gap up. We do end up with a double distribution and just the high, the low, and then the set of single prints, double distribution day. But nonetheless, a very positive sign for the buyers coming out of the inside day to the upside on a gap was very strong. You would have liked to seen more volume and tempo push up into this market, but I do not doubt that there is some profit taking as we do hit all-time highs. As you can see, I have entries and exit arrows on my screen here. That is because I did record a live trade today where I got long against single prints just to show you guys how important it is to understand the context of the market in the sense of where single prints are located and whenever we are breaking out of a balance to the upside and how that could help you trade or help you with your trading. So very positive day for the buyers. If you guys want to watch the trade, I do have the video posted already, so you can just go look at how to trade using a larger time frame. Should be this last video that was posted, so if you guys want to go check that out, go check it out. And then I'll show you guys a little bit of insight on what Paul's trading room looks like as well. But overall, very positive day. Like I said, open with a gap. We pushed up. We got above the previous all-time high. We broke out of that balance area because we had gone from up to balance with the double inside day. 97.75 was our balance. It was also our weekly high. So the outside week up scenario is also coming to fruition. Where we are coming out of it, we have an outside week up scenario playing. So we'd like to see more extension to the upside, more acceptance up here above the 5,000 level, as it is the first time we are above 5,000. So we'd like to continue to hold above there and push higher going into the close of the week. We have 2 more trading days left. So could potentially lead to a bigger move on the upside, but nonetheless, still keeping size small, taking profits when it is there, and trying to stay in the trade whenever it is allowing us to stay in the trade. So just to break down the trade today, using the 1 minute, as you can see where my entries were, it was on a pullback. I was buying dips. Now, where was I buying the dip? I was buying against what people would say is support. It's also where single prints were located. So if I pull up our 30-minute chart and we look at where the single prints were located at that time, guess what? Where I was buying and the location I was buying on the dip or on the pullback was against a set of single prints. Why was I buying there? Well, because we know shorts are trapped in that area, and if they're truly trapped, not only are they trapped there, we also broke out above the high right around the same level. So we know where our out is at if we get back below 97, get out of the trade. But we held the set of single prints, bounced off of it beautifully, which resulted in a very, very good trade where I was long, got out on the push up. Same thing here when we pulled back, got long, got out on the push up, and even held one into the high of day and our all-time high up here, which was a excellent, excellent trade. I wish it was a bigger size. However, I was prepared to buy if we had filled the single prints. I was prepared to buy more had we pulled back because I did not think they were going to give up the day just like that. With everything given to us and in the context and understanding that the buyers had control at the time. So those were the trades that I took. Very, very good trades. Very good risk reward trades, in my opinion. The only issues that I had during that trade was getting back above the 144 on that second time. Once we pushed up, I took on another account, I took some off around that 10 level, around the 09, 10 level. And then as we pushed up into that first standard deviation, took some off and then had another ready to get off around the 15 level, which was right around the high of day at the time. But the 144 simple moving average was there. And like I said, if you guys want to see that trade play out, it's about a 16-minute video. The full trade, motions, everything throughout the entirety, the whole bounce that you guys get to see in that that setup. So very, very positive setup. Very happy that I took that. But nonetheless, very good day for the buyers. Sorry, got distracted. So what we're going to do now is we're just going to mark our charts. If I can get rid of these damn arrows here. We're going to mark our charts and then look at the larger time frames and then kind of prepare for what tomorrow could bring. Okay, so we go out with a double distribution today. All right, I'll explain that here in just a second, but we go out with a double distribution. Very positive for the buyers. Today's low is 49.88. If I sound a little hoarse, it's because somebody pass some sickness around. Of course, I catch it. Today is the 7th. So we have our low of day. I'm going to go ahead and mark our high of day up here, which is also our all-time high at 20. 50.20 is now our all-time high, weekly high, monthly high, daily high. So continue to take that out, be a positive sign for the buyers. All right, we go out with a pretty wide point of control, actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 wide here at 13. So we're going to mark that. Yeah, I want to say that's the widest point. Make sure 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Technically, actually, so that's the volume pot. Oh, technically speaking, the point of control is going to be slightly lower than what the volume pocket is showing. Volume pocket is showing right here at 13. The actual point of control is going to be right here at 10. So actual point of control, 10 wide or 9 wide point of control right here at 10. So that is 9 out of 13 time frames traded back and forth through that 10 level. And not only did we trade back and forth through 1075, okay, it was a double low here. So we held it when we pulled back here, and then we held it when we pulled back in period late in the day, and then closed near the high. So with that, just goes to show you how strong the buyers are in this market. And shorts obviously got squeezed out of that out of the trade today. So we have a 9 wide point of control right here at 1075. So 10 out of the 13 time frames traded back and forth through that area. And it is the closest point to half back. So that's why we're using that instead of 13, because 13 is higher than where the 1075 is, and half back is currently at 5,004. Okay, so we have the 9 wide point of control. All right, then we have our single prints that start right here at 5,250. Single prints that start right here at 5,250. So today, how we leaned against them today as for a long, they're not going to be as it's not going to be very strong of an area to buy against tomorrow, to say the least. Because typically, if we do have a pullback of some sort, single prints tend to get filled. Okay, so it'll be a destination on the downside more than an area to lean against. An area to lean against would be anywhere in the lower distribution. So once the single prints got filled, right here at 99.25, 49.99.25, that will be an area that you can look for along. Okay, and then you would get out below the 97.25 area that was our previous all-time high. That would be kind of the scenario that you'd look for there. But typically, whenever you pull back to a set of single prints from the previous day, it's usually filled very little times, excuse me. But not as often do we hold them if we pull back near it. They typically get filled right away, as it is a destination for algorithms to hit. All right, so here is our 30-minute time frame, okay? It's a double distribution. How do we know it's a double distribution? Well, it's a double distribution because we have a set of single prints. If we had another set of single prints up here like we attempted to have later in the afternoon, if we had another set of single prints up here and then held them, it would be a triple distribution day up, excuse me. But because we didn't, it is only a double distribution. So price was accumulated here, right? Price was accumulated here. And then once we broke out above both the all-time high 97.75 and A's high, guess what? All the buyers here began to distribute what they had purchased up here, right? Hence why we have some back and forth movement between that 1075 level. Each time we moved near that 1075, they were happy taking profits. So you had sellers there, and then you had buyers that were also happy getting into the market at that range, as later in the day it proved to be profitable. Once we got above 1075, we pulled back to it, it rotated higher, we pulled back to it, it rotated higher. So that's how you can view it. That 9 wide point of control also kind of shows you that it was an area that buyers and sellers were happy to do business. So it shows you that there were some, definitely were some sellers taking profit up there, as well as maybe some shorter term shorts getting into the market as well. So positive thing for buyers tomorrow is to open above 1075 and in the upper distribution. If they do not open above 1075 and in the upper distribution, then you'll look to rotate lower, test 5,000. If you do test 5,000, you'll most likely fill the set of single prints. You definitely want to hold above the upper distribution. So maybe that means pulling back to 97.25, getting a bounce above 97.25. If you do not find any bounce above 49.97.75 or 25, you will most likely continue to pull back and fill the gap. All right. But because we are one time framing up on the daily and the weekly and the monthly, the likelihood of us taking out today's high, or the probability of us taking out today's high and setting a new all-time high, is very probable, especially if we open above 1075. Okay. So if we open above 1075 or even hold above 5,002, we will rotate higher and continue to push up into the 50-50 level, which would be a next visual area. Today's range wasn't massive, but if you do take today's entire range and then stack it on top, it can kind of give you an idea of where we could end up tomorrow, which would be right around that 50-52 level. So that kind of just gives you an idea of where we could end up tomorrow if we have the exact same range and grind to the upside. So there's today in a nutshell. For those that like support and resistance, you definitely want to see some buyers step in where the single prints were and where they fill. And then sellers obviously don't want to see you get above 50-20. But if you're selling in this market near the highs, you're absolutely crazy unless you are taking profits. That's the only time you should be selling, is if you are taking profits on the upside. All right, now let's go ahead and look at the larger time frames just briefly. We already know the monthly's up, but we do want to look at the weekly, okay, as we do have an outside week up scenario at play. As you can tell, We were in balance coming into this week. We broke out of balance as we had an outside week up scenario in place. So what does that mean? Well, we took out the previous week's low last week, okay? Then we pushed back above the previous week's high and closed above it. However, because we did take out that low, it put us into a 2-week balance. All right. So coming into this week, what buyers wanted to see was taking out the all-time high of 49.9775, and not only doing that, but getting this outside week scenario, which shows that the buyers are very, very strong, and we continue to one time frame up here. Okay, so buyers want to continue to push up, maybe into that 50 level that I was talking about, and even higher potentially if we can get up into that 5100. If you were just for shits and gigs, now last week's range was expanded due to the volatility with the FOMC, but same concept, right? If you were to take the exact same here from open to close, it'd push you up to right around that 40 or that 5100 level. So there is still some upside if you base it off of that. So weekly, one time framing up now, outside week up scenario, still forming, right? This could easily fail and we could just come back in. However, buyers want to hold above 97.75, especially they want to hold above that 80 level, which was my line in the sand on the upside. So now let's go ahead and look at our daily time frame. Gapped up today. We have a gap. All right, so this is what the daily looks like with inside of that weekly balance. There is the all-time high. Look at how perfectly we opened on the gap at that high and then pushed up, right? We had a little bit of a pullback, but we did ultimately end up pushing up, never filled the gap. We have not held many gaps on the upside this year, so the fact that we held it is very, very positive in my opinion. We do continue to target that area of 50 to 60. That is going to be my target on the upside. I do think we could get there at some point in time. So one time framing up on the daily, we had gone from up to balance. Technically, it was still up because we never took out a previous time frames low, but because it was a double inside day, we set up to balance and we continue to one time frame up. So very positive. Technically, you could say this market's been one time framing up 1, 2, 3, 4 days in a row now, getting some legs to the upside now. 20-day moving average creeping up now inside of where our previous balance was on the daily, and it continues to push up higher and higher. Ultimately, you'd like to see that continue to push up. 50-day creeping up as well. Don't want to see that anytime soon. So target is 50-50, 50-60 level on the upside. However, if we take out today's low or even open up in the lower distribution, the likelihood of us taking out today's low is good, and filling the gap would be good. But you would definitely don't want to see a gap down because then that would be an island reversal. So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thanks for stopping by. If you guys want to check out that live trading video, please go check it out. Give me some support, some love. Let me know how you would have traded it. If you would have traded it any differently, leave a comment down below. Thanks for stopping by once again. I do appreciate the support. See you later.